Hi Leo, welcome to your March 2024 Astro-Tarot with me, Raphael from Radiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. Quick note, these readings are for your Sun, Moon and Ascendant sign, though if you're only going to watch one, make sure it's for your Ascendant. It's going to be that much more accurate for you on that day-to-day level. Remember, I'm using whole sign tropical Western astrology for those of you that would like to know. And with that, said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise. They help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So, I'm going to pop these to the side so that I can put your transits down. So, the first transit that I want to talk about is on the 8th of March. Mars is going to come into a square with this planet Uranus, right? And now this is a pretty big deal because this is kind of, I like to think of it as what happens when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object. Now, this is happening across the houses of Aquarius, across the signs of Aquarius and Taurus. So for you personally, this represents your 7th house, which is the space that Aquarius occupies, and the 10th house of career, which is occupied by Taurus for you, right? So since Mars for you represents so Mars in ancient astrology was the ruler of Scorpio, right? So Mars for you rules your 9th house and your 4th house. This is about home sector and potentially all matters around legal matters around the home, the property, the real estate, where you live. It could also be as well for some of you, like in a square to the ruler of that house, which is because Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius. It could be that the ruler of your relationships is also bringing up, you know, the considerations around contracts, around relationships, partnerships of all manner, and also those contractual matters around the home or a career matter. It could also see you potentially parting ways with someone who's been a big part of your career, or maybe even somebody that you, and it doesn't have to be a breaking of ways either. It can show up as that, absolutely, but it could also be that because Mars gives us the energy to remove what is superfluous, right? It's the scalpel, effectively. So we can take something to our lives and say, okay, you know what? This needs to be scaled back, or it needs to be cleaned up. It's kind of like when you prune the bushes, right, before spring, so that everything grows properly when that time comes. Whatever the case might be, you're likely to do this in potentially a very official capacity, deciding to step away from everything like the boss that you are, right? I do like this as well for you getting proactive about making new connections, even if they are hard to land, right? So connections of, because the 7th house, Aquarius energy, connections, partnerships, commitments, contracts, the 10th house is your career. So this could see you getting really proactive about, you know, making new contacts. But remember, a square energy, it's an energy that makes you uncomfortable enough to do something about it. So it's not always easy. For this, you've got the King of Pentacles. Love that, right? This is promotion energy. This is step up energy. You've got this with the Page of Swords. So you might need to pull rank in your career when it comes to the career sector, when it comes to partnerships and collaborations and connections. You might need to set the record straight in some way in order for you to get ahead. It could also be because the Page of Swords can literally be a contract. And with this Wheel of Fortune, look at that. Even though it is a square energy, this square can actually be very good for your career, because you might be forging a relationship, or maybe you get an offer or an opportunity or a contract of some sort that comes out of the blue that really creates a lot of not only success but advancement for you. I'm just going to tell you, because it shows up as a square, it's not going to be easy. It will, you know, either be hard work, or it might be something where you have to really think on your feet. Remember, we're talking about Mars, action, energy, passion, excitation, right? And then we're talking about Uranus, shocks, changes, things that come very much out of the blue. The Wheel of Fortune is a blessing card, right? And with the Page of Swords, this is a surprise contract, a surprise move. It has a lot to do with the King of Pentacles, which literally usually represents things like pay rises, promotions, advancement in the career in some regard. As a person, the King of Pentacles tends to represent an earth sign, or it could be a Taurus, Capricorn, or a Virgo. So The second transit that I want to look at, I also want to mention, if ever I don't mention the dates, if ever I don't mention the degrees, you can find all of that stuff in the description box below. So please don't worry or panic. And if I don't say it there. So if you want to book your personal reading with me, whether it's astrology, tarot, numerology, or energy work, you can do that on the link in the description box below. And as if that wasn't enough, this month's offering, or should I say the month of February's offering, because that's when I'm putting these out, the course that I have for you this month is all about the court cards. And as a Leo, you are royalty, baby. So like literally this course is, you could say it's made for you in some way, shape or form. You're going to meet the royal court. You're going to understand the symbolism in the cards. You're going to see them as people. You're going to see them as celebrities. You're going to personify them in your own life. There is so much. There's PDFs, there's videos, and it's all digestible, really nice, simple, easy, very short bites of information so that you can take what you get in the course and literally put it into practice almost immediately. All right. Now, on the 14th of the month, the moon is coming into a conjunction with Uranus, and obviously at the same time Jupiter is going to be there. Now it is a 7-degree orb, so it's not exact between all three of them, but I would say because Uranus and Jupiter are such big boy planets with big boy energy, like you could say that this is a conjunction, right? So in your 10th house of career, right, you've got the moon, which is exalted. Venus. The moon loves to be in the sign of Taurus. This is where Luna is exalted and she's connecting to Uranus. This could be a swift decision that comes in. And obviously the moon for you rules your past, so and also your spiritual connections, and it rules the people in general. So you might have the mind to break with the past or some kind of family heritage or possibly even karma. It's also possible that you might see things in a new perspective that's somewhat elevated and potentially even spiritual in terms of your career. It might show you how you're going to amplify your career or your reach, or even assimilate the knowledge and wisdom in order to get a better career, in order to get ahead in your work life. Since Jupiter rules other people's money and resources and creativity for you, some ideas that you have, or some maybe some idea or some crowning glory of an idea of yours that you're ready to put out into the world could do very well. What's really interesting with this as well is the sextile to Saturn. Right, so obviously Saturn is over here in the sign of Pisces at this time, and what this is really doing is it provides the energy and the structure that you need in order to make something real. You will need to put the work in. Remember, a sextile is just an opportunity, right? And Saturn demands hard work. So this might be a moment at which you sell something or that you share something with the world that gets a really incredible response. Either which way, you are very visible at this time. So I'm going to say, in some regards, shoot your shot, right? Love it. For this, you've got the King of Swords. So there's another king with the 7 of Swords, okay, and the 5 of Swords. So I am going to say, I don't personally feel that this is a deceit. I feel like this is someone, or maybe, quite frankly, this is a hater that's talking some shit about you behind your back, right? And a big part of that is probably because you're shining so big, right? And I'm going to say, with the King of Swords, it can be that someone is talking about you because they have an opinion on what you do or how you do it, or whatever the case might be. In the words of our Lord and Saviour, as put down in the gospel, Heidi in closet, fuck all them bitches, right? Excuse my language. I know some of you don't like it. For those of you that are my ride or dies that have been here for the longest time, you know you love Rafi's potty mouth. And jokes aside, sometimes you just have to say, you know what? It really doesn't matter what people do or don't think about it. What matters is that I do what I do and that I show up, that I believe in myself. 7 of Swords with the 5 of Swords, this can show up as, like I said, it will be a whole lot of that behind your back. Don't worry too much about that. It's got nothing to do with you. It's all about them. Okay, so on the 17th of the month, let's move the moon. Where are you? Neptune is going to, or should I say the sun is going to come into a conjunction with Neptune. This is a pretty big deal because you are the sun, right? This is something to be both a little bit excited about and also maybe a little bit intrigued by at the same time. Neptune gets a really bad rap because it can distort and it can confuse, right? But when coupled with the sun in your 8th house, this is the place that your psychic power, your sexual prowess, and your primal energies, and even your wounds reside. This energy becomes something transcendent because Neptune is connecting with the sun. This means that you are seeing things from an elevated perspective. It's like the sun is you, conjunct Neptune. It's like you are being presented as this mysterious, powerful, sexual being. So if you're single, hey, and if you're partnered, maybe your partner is looking at you like with newfound eyes. This could be wonderful. It goes beyond that though, right? The 8th house is a very psychic space. Neptune is a high vibrational spiritual energy, which means you could be getting some really powerful visions and insights at this time. Also, you know, especially around things like death. It might be about a spiritual evolution of some sort, some kind of personal transformation. There is a moment here where you're about to ascend in a very, very powerful way, right? Because Neptune is transcendence, it is ascension in some regard. You're getting a glimpse into the other world, right? One that you will probably never forget. This could come as a dream. And remember, this time of the sun conjunct Neptune in the sign of Pisces, it's the penultimate time that this is ever going to happen in our lifetimes, because as of March 2025, that will be the last time that it happens, because Neptune's then going to move into Aries, right? So we're never going to have this, like this is the second to last time that this will ever happen. Pay attention to the messages that come through from here and be sure to fortify your spiritual and psychic boundaries at this time so that you can make sense of the information that comes to you, and also so that you can remain spiritually clean, right? Spiritual cleanliness is going to be paramount at this time because you, the sun, rules you, your body, your mind, your outlook, especially if you are a Leo ascendant. You're going to be that much more porous, that much, your aura will be that much more porous as well, which means it's great for psychic awareness, flashes of inspiration and all of that stuff, but it also potentially leaves you open a little bit as well, right? All of this happening in the 8th house of other people's money, big finances, big resources, taxes, death, you know, loans, all of that kind of stuff on the material level, and your deep psychological makeup is the 8th house. So you could be really getting this amazing glimpse into yourself, but it's just a lot of floaty energy as well. Okay, for this you've got the Tower card with the 9 of Wands and the 6 of Cups. So the one thing that I do want to say to you is no extreme sports or anything on this day. The energy just isn't there for it, right? The Tower card with the 9 of Swords, it suggests potentially some kind of slip, trip, fall, where, you know, it might be funny at the time, but then you realise like, oh, actually, like this happened to a friend of mine. Like she fell over at a concert. And we, you know, I wasn't there, but she was like, yeah, I was laughing and joking and everything felt fine. And she said, but then like she took a few steps and was like, okay, this is bad. And she ended up having to have a cast and all sorts. It was really quite serious in the end. That's one way that you could see this. Another way that this potentially shows up is you have a really powerful realization, the Tower card, that really unlocks or triggers the 9 of Wands, some kind of past challenge or trauma. You could be seeing some element of your past so differently that you're able to see it at a bird's eye view, and it could literally, like, you could just be like, holy crap, mind blown, right? Like, I've just got this amazing download or powerful insight into some element of my history. And it could also be an idea that comes from or through spirit that you're kind of like, okay, I've got to do something with this now. All right, and then on the 21st of the month, Venus is going to, because at that point the sun will be in Aries, Venus is coming into a conjunction with Saturn, the hard taskmaster in your 8th house. Remember, the 8th house is other people's money, finances, and resources. Venus is a sweetener. Wherever she goes, she brings ease, harmony, diplomacy, and she's going to bring help as well. Venus brings her soothing energies of diplomacy and fairness into your 8th house. In the 8th house of other people's money and resources, if there are financial matters on the table, and there likely will be at this time, especially around contracts, etc., she sweetens the deal. She ensures that things kind of get moving ahead and in a way that's really satisfactory to you. Venus is your 3rd house of communications because she rules Libra, but she's also your 10th house of your career, right? Which means not only are people buying what you're selling, but they are hearing you. They're really hearing what you have to say. And as Saturn is there in that 8th house, it's crystallizing everything, making sure that you deliver on your end, but so the other the other party or the other connection, they deliver as well. Saturn is partnerships in your daily grind and work, and even your physical health and vitality. In a connection to Jupiter, in a really nice sextile, this is bringing a coherence and opportunity to the mix from your 10th house of career and status. This could be an insight about a legacy goal that makes your heart sing, which is great. It could just as easily be, though, just the opportunity, right? Whenever we have sextile energy between Pisces and Taurus, between two complementary elements, it's just the opportunity. You will need to work it, right? A part of that is because it's just a sextile, which is only the opportunity, but also it's Saturn, right? Which demands hard work. It will require your inward creativity as well as your internal personal power to make it happen. But whatever you do initiate with this, or whatever comes to pass or may be offered to you, providing you put the work in, the results are absolutely there. Remember, even though Saturn's in the mix, Venus and Jupiter are the great benefics. So in some way, shape or form, this is potentially maybe even like a sealed deal when it comes to a financial elevation of some sort. So for this, you've got the 6 of Pentacles. So if you need to reach out for loans, bursaries, if you need money, if you want to apply for a mortgage, if you want to put your taxes in, all the rest of it, this might be a good time to do so. You got this with the 5 of Cups. So knowing what to do and what not to do at the right time. And then with the 2 of Cups, for some of you, this could be a debt that is paid or forgiven. For others, this could be where you divest your financial interests from another person or party. So this could be where you go your separate ways on a financial level, but it's like you go with no animosity. All right, it's just the 5 of Cups suggests an ending. Okay, so let's get into your lunations. I can't remember the date of the Pisces new moon, but let's have a look at this, right? So you'll have the sun and the moon in the sign of Pisces in your 8th house. So a fresh start with all of these things. This could be the start of a mortgage. It could be the application, that you're putting in to do that kind of thing. The 8th house is, again, like I said, your deep psychological makeup, and it's also the house of the occult. Maybe you're rededicating yourself to your spiritual path. Maybe you're starting to really do the inner work, right? And the inner spiritual work around things. For this, you've got the Gate 35 and experience. And the message behind this card is to not take anybody else's experience for your own. So if someone says to you like, oh yeah, I wouldn't apply for that job, or I wouldn't go for that mortgage with these people because my friend did it and it didn't work out for them or whatever. Okay, thanks for sharing, but that's not my experience. Your experience has to trump all others around this new moon, and whatever is set into motion, don't take anybody else's word for it. Really interesting as well with my geeky numerology brain. 3 and 5 gives you 8. It's an 8th house new moon. And then on the 25th of the month, I know this is the 25th because it's my mummy's birthday, you have a 3rd house full moon lunar eclipse. This is a pretty big deal for all of us. Remember, lunar eclipses do bring completions, but they also bring fresh starts, because the way that I see a full moon is it's the end of the pregnancy, but it's the beginning of the life of the child. So it has like a dual aspect to it, just like a new moon does, right? A new moon is a dark moon. Now, the moon, a full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Libra. This third house is your local environment. It could be some big news or a big development in the life of a sibling. It could just as easily be a big development in terms of like your own schooling or education or even sales. This could be a time where you're wrapping up a really big or a larger project. And for this, you've got the gate 28 and possible. And the message behind this card is whatever it is that you're seeking to create, whatever it is that you are trying to bring out or put into the world, whether via your career or a relationship, it's absolutely possible, right? You can do this, and the chances are that you probably will. With that said, if you would like to get your personal reading with me or the Court Cards course, you can do that on the link in the description box below. I would like to say thank you so much, and remember to check out, or should I say, make sure you share in the comments how this shapes up for you. Take care, and I'll see you soon.